And the last one, that is a many to many relationship. We already understood the different type of inheritance mapping. Mapping in Hibernate, like inheritance mapping and association mapping and the collection mapping, right? So I have explained to you that what is a one-to-one and how it is used. Next also I explained that is many-to-one relationship, and now we have to understand many-to-many. Here I have used set mapping, collection mapping here we have used in this section. So let us try the third one, that is a many-to-many association mapping. Okay, what we'll do here, we just say new here and then a Java project. I'll give a here project name, let us say association mapping many to many with Hibernate. Okay, so now we'll say next here and I'll say finish. So this one we have to do, right click, next, a new package, and I'll say com dot example, finish. Now right click, add Hibernate capabilities here, and I'll say next, again next. Select the drivers that you have created and then say next here and select your package now and finish it. So this part we have done. Now here we'll say add, and here I'll add hbm2ddl.auto and I'll say here create. Okay, so next I will add show SQL statement and I'll say true. I'll say okay now. Now next is the mapping, that I have not done the mapping part, so let us just save this configuration only. We'll come back here and frequently we'll create two class here. Let us say one is the batch. Okay, finish. Create another class, say your new class student. So we are trying to relate student and batch with many to many relationship. What we are saying here that the multiple students or many students can study in one batch, and or maybe in many batch, right? So it is a many to many relationship here. So we'll say student and batch here. Okay, so what you would like to add the field in batch and a student, so definitely we'll go for batch ID and something like batch title and fee and what are the students in that batch, right? So we'll say here a private property, that is a, let us say string ID, private string title. Okay, batch title, and then I say private string, I just say fee here, and I'll take another set property, say private string, let us say private set, and I'll say here student. So this will have a number of or set up a student, but every student will be unique here, right? So I am using set here, I'm not using list and all. So equal to new has set. Okay, and I'll just say here student only, right, and open close. You need to import the set from util package. and has set again, because has set is the implementation of the set interface here. And now what is the next duty I have? I have to generate the setter getter for this. So I'll just say right click and source. I'll go to here, generate getter setter. I'll select this all, or I can just say select all from here and then click OK here. So the getter setter is ready now. Right? So this is my getter student and setter student, right? And for get ID, get title and all, right? Yeah. So this part we have done. Come to the student now. So what do you think? What are the fields you will have in a student? Before going to the student here, let us say in some batch I need to add some ID. So what we'll do here, that I'll make a separate method here. So public void add a student. Okay, add student, open, close. And in add a student, I'll say here student s. Okay, and then I'll say here students dot students dot. So what is the property I've taken? It is students, right? So I'll say here students dot add. What add? S. Now it has been added, right? And we can say here the, if I want to add the some batch ID, so I'll just say here s dot get. So I don't have the property there. So let us come back to your student and write, write some property here. So here I just say private string ID, private string first name, right? And then private, so integer age. Okay, and then I'll say here private, I will use here set now, and I'll say here batch. Okay, batch is equal to new has set. Okay, what batch, right? I'll import this set and has set again. And I'll generate the getter setter method. Right click, source, generate getter setter, select all. Okay, so it has been generated now. So set get batches and set batches are there, right? Now I'll come back to here in the this place, and I'll say here s dot set batch, right? For this student, who is the batch? Sorry, get batches, right? Get batches dot add, or I can say this, I'll pass the same batch here, right? What is saying get batch is not there. Yeah, so batches, and we have done get batches, right? Yeah, it's get batches. So now it is error is gone. Okay, so we have made the two pose class here now, batch and student here, right? So we'll close it. What we have to do now? We have to do the mapping part. Hbm file we need to create here, right? So we'll create two Hbm file, a student and batch Hbm file, and then I'll go add the Hbm to the config file, right? And then we'll have some of the client main program where we'll do all this coding. Okay, so let us make Hbm file. So what we can do here, we have already some Hbm file there. So I'll just take that one and I'll do some editing here. So let us say project Hbm. I just copy. I just copy here and I say paste. Okay. So I pasted now. Okay. Come back to here. So in the Hibernate mapping, what we have package com, right? And class name is what is the class name I have? It is let us say batch. Okay. You can edit here itself. What table you want? Let us say batches, right? So I want the table batch we can make. Okay, batch. Let us try to do changes here now. More changes we'll do here. So class name project, sorry, class name is a batch. I think there it has not been changed. So let us say class name is a batch, table is a batch here. So id, name id, and let us say I will have a separate column name, another column name. So column equal to what? Batch underscore id, right? And then we are having say title, then we are having say it is a fee, right? Now after the fee we are having set, so I'll use here set open, name equal to what? In batch we are having students, right? So what table you want? You want a table like let us say table equal to, it will have a reference in another table. So let us say there is a batch and stu details, huh? Batch and student details separately. Separate table we are maintaining here. So here what column will be there? So key, and then we can say column equal to batch underscore id, right? Now this will have a relationship, right? So we'll write here many to, I just close this first here, and then I'll say many to many, right? Earlier we have used one to one and one to many, and many to one also we have used there. So this time we are using many to many tag, and what is the class for that? So we can just remove the name here, and I'll say class equal to what? It will have a relationship with the student, right? So I'll say student here, and then after a column is what? Student id, student underscore id. I'll close the set here now, right? And the class will be closed now. So this is done now. So I just maximize and explain to you. So I have a class batch, table will be batch now. So there's the one id column, batch id, remember. So we are making a column name different, so batch id. If I don't write this block, this part, okay, the column will be id itself. So just we are changing the name here. The column name will be different and property is different here. So and title and fee will be there. Okay, so now save this, close it. Now I want to rename this refactor rename, and I'll say here this is my batch.hbm.xml. Okay, so it has been created now. I'll just copy and paste it here itself, and I'll give a name here student.hbm, student.hbm.xml. Okay, now here we'll do changes. That class name is a student, right? Class name is a student. Table what you want, say students. Okay, what is ID here? Here I have a ID only, right? But in a table it will have a student ID, student ID. Okay, and then property name, say I have a first name of the student, and then age of the student, right? What else? So after that it is having batches, set batches, right? So I'll just say here set name is here batches. So what the table will be there? The same table, batch student details. So it will have a both table will have a reference in another table, that is a batch details table. Okay, so here it will have a student ID, right? In that table, batch ID and a student ID will be there, right? So this will have a reference with many to many relationship and with batch, right? And then column batch ID, BATC batch ID. Okay, and we are closing the set, we are closing the class. Now we'll save it. So we have done the mapping. So we'll go again back to the configuration, and I'll say here add. I'll select both Hbm file here, 1 and 2, right? Press Ctrl and select the both Hbm file and then say OK. So it has been added now. You can see the source here, that 2 Hbm file has been added now. So just save this now. So what is the next duty now? We need to create a class, and I'll say here association manager. Okay, same I'm taking here. It will have a main method, finish it. So now the code is ready here. Okay, so we'll write some code now. We'll do some mapping and all. What is the next now? So we'll create a object of batch, batch b1 equal to new batch. Okay, similarly we can do here batch b2 equal to new batch. So we are creating two batch here. Okay, and I'll say b1 dot set id. So id is my b001. b1 dot set title and all. So set title is what kind of batch it is. So let us say this is my Java batch, Java J2E batch. Okay, and what is the fee for this? So b1 dot set fee. Let us say fee is 10,000, but I need to make it this one also string because I have declared string here, right? Same thing we can do with this guy b2, and I'll say this is b2 here and b2 This is also B2, right? And this is my ID 2 batch, second batch. This is Oracle 10G. Okay, the batch of Oracle 10G, like that. Cost is 5,000, right? So we have now two batch we have here. Next we'll do a student. We'll create object of a student S1 equal to new student. Okay, and then I'll say here student S2 equal to new student, right? Like that. Okay, so we are getting two student now, and both the student will be studying in both batch, let us say. So it is many to many, right? In one batch two student, right? In again one batch two student, but both the students are also studying in both batch, so we can say many to many relationship. So again we will set the s1 dot set id, and id is my s001, s001, s1 dot set first name is John, s1 dot set age is 30. Okay, so what is the age we have declared? I just need to check here. Student age is my integer, that's good. So we have done now. So id first name age we have done. Next for student s2, same job I have to do here, and I need to say here s2 s2 s2, and id is what? 2. James age is 35, right? So we have just taken both here. Now we will allot the student to a batch, right? So in b1 dot add a student who is s1. So in batch 1 student 1, again b1 dot add a student who is, so again I can say s2. So I am assigning here, and I am saying that both the students are studying in b1. Again similarly I can do b2 dot add a student. So we are allotting the student to batch 2 also. So b2 dot add a student s2. So both guy will study in both batch. So it is many to many relationship, and one batch having more student, right? Two students here I taken. I could have taken another 3-4 students, but this is enough. Now next part is our configuration, retrieving the configuration now. So configuration config equal to new configuration. Let us maximize and then write the whole code here. So this part you have understood here. We'll come to the configuration and session factory. So configuration dot configure, right? Just import this package, configure towards the Hibernate CFG file, and then you write here session factory from org Hibernate sf equal to config dot build session factory, and then I'll go for session here, session equal to sf dot open session. So we have got the session, and with the help of this session I'll obtain the transaction tran equal to session dot begin transaction, right? Session also we need to import here. I think it has been done now. So next we'll do session dot save. What save? B1. First is my batch, right? And then session dot save B2, second instance of the batch. Similarly, I can do session dot save which one? S1. Now we are allotted a student in the batch, and then session dot save S2, second student now. Done. And now we have to do finally tran dot commit. Okay. So if you can see this code, right? Save it and now try to run this code here. So right click, just say here run as Java application. So it has been created multiple tables, couldn't execute. Yeah, table equal to batch student here. Here we have to write one attribute that inverse equal to true. Okay, inverse equal to true. So that was missing in the mapping here, and that's correct. So many to many class batch and column batch ID and set, right? So if we talk about the many to many mapping here, as I said that last time we use one to many. So yes, let us try to run this again now. We'll come back here and so batch ID set, yeah. Now just try to run this again, run as Java application. So we'll check if error come. So it has been inserted finally. You can see this. Now we'll see the record here. So we are having two batch, right? We are having two students and both are studying in both batch. You can see clearly here, right? So this is what many to many relationship. So in the same batch, in B1, two students are studying S01 and S02 student, right? This is what we are having many to many mapping. Okay, so I hope you understood this here. This is what we have done. We have taken two batches and two students and both are studying in both batch. So this is the output which we have got here. Last time the record was not there because I had missed one attribute. So that's all about the association mapping now.